These fucking cats bad as hell, bro. Oh my god.
They hit the cord on you.
Yeah, and I'm telling my fucking son that they hitting the cords, and he, oh no, they not, and every time I get up, I'm looking at them pull a motherfucker and then run. Oh, badass cat. Them cats bad as hell, bro. All three of them. They gotta get the fuck out of here.
Whose cats are
One of them, one of them is Julian's. One of them is my mom. One of them is my girls, and one of them is my other sons. They bad as shit. Put it in the refrigerator.
It's not the rest of it, actually. It's just a whole piece of chicken.
Alright. Imagine if I'm in a game, bro. Oh my god.
Torture. Eyes on them motherfuckers.
They be in cages.
And I locked them upstairs. They in the door locked now, so I think 2 out of the 3 is up. There goes 1. All right, so 1 walking by right now. Fuck.
That should just are they knocking
Send
out
him
like
up there
your power
too.
cord?
Get that
Is it
cat
your
out of
power
there.
cord that they're knocking out, or the
Yeah,
hardwire connection?
well, I got the my hardwire cord is connected from. I got a really long one, like 100-foot one. So from my living room to my middle room is where the modem is. So I got it running into it. So they just pulling on that cord.
Yeah, and then it shuts off the whole system.
Yeah, it shuts off. I mean, I can literally just Wi-Fi connect while I'm doing it until it's time to play. But I'm like doing that shit. I have to do it. Leave the fucking cord alone. Lost all momentum. It was mad people watching.
Yeah. Literally. And that shit just threw some people off.
Climax that your man can meet. Alright, we're going to try to get back at it, man. This is going to be one of those shows. If you tune back in, you tune back in. But I will know this. If you're tuned in, stay tuned in. Because you know how I be. Once I get over my attitude, I might be wanting to do something for somebody that's watching on the late night. But until then, we got to get back to what I was talking about, man. We was talking about the 7 seeds and guys on a award race watch. And, you know, it correlates. It correlates when you have guys playing at a high level. It usually means your team is playing at a high level. And when your team is playing at a high level, you got opportunities. And when you playing in that second season, you know, everybody wants to get to the second season. You want to play in the beginning of the second season. I mean, the season within the season. You know, you got the regular season, and then you got the postseason. If you in the postseason, you getting extra games. If you getting them extra games, you're getting extra development on players. Simple as that. So those guys that are stepping are going to continue to see what they're doing right now. Now, I saw Defensive Player of the Year. I was looking at if we had anybody from the Colts on this list. We didn't see anybody. I did think we saw somebody from the NFC on this list. At number 3, Ambry Thomas was that number 3. That was the only person there who's having a great year at this point right now. Max, if you could help me out, can you tell me what his stats look like?
Yep. Let me go to it right now.
While we're going through Offensive Rookie of the Year, we do know we have a Colt here at number 4. We got a kid named Isaiah Samuels, a wide receiver. And it's 2 years in a row the Colts has had a receiver, you know, up here on the list making plays for him right now. You know, I'm a diaper dandy guy. Those kids that are brand new, the rookies, you know, fresh off the mama's titty, and they in the NFL playing right now. I like those guys because I want to see how they develop throughout their careers, and that's what the show is about. Especially when we get on the Ballin' with the Guru episode, we talk about these young kids, such as Chris Poole, the wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills, Cardaro Winters, the wide receiver for the Bengals, Ladarius Stevens, the wide receiver for the Ravens, Isaiah Samuels, the wide receiver. Is this related? Is he related to any relations to Curtis Samuels? Anybody know that?
Curtis Samuel is Samuel, not Samuels.
Okay, so he's not related to them. Randy Moss Jr. is in the building, and Aaron Hernandez is in the building as well. Jason Murray's here. Eric Horn, the wide receiver for the Browns, is here. Nick Bryan, the quarterback that started off the season for the Browns and now is playing backup role. And then Chris Ash looks like he could be a tight end for the Colts.
I'll tell you in a second. Ambry has 55 tackles, 1 tackles for loss, 10 interceptions, and 9 pass deflections.
Yeah, he balling out right now. Double digits interceptions right now.
10. Yep.
Yeah, he balling right now. So that's
And
what's
then,
up.
who was that offensive player at the bottom?
Isaiah Samuels for the Colts.
He has 34 catches, 639 yards, 9 touchdowns.
So he should have double digits before it's all said and done. All right, middle linebacker Cedric Kidd. Another big-time pickup for the Colts, a diaper dandy. He is number 1 on the Defensive Rookie of the Year award race right here. Let's see if there's any more Colts up here. He also has another kid, Shaq Bonds. I need to know what positions those two guys play. They have 2 up here. We have another kid here. How many kids? Cedric Kidd, and then he got a brother, Niles Kidd, for the Dolphins is in the building right now. So we're looking at, a lot of family members getting drafted these days. But Cedric leads it all.
Cedric has 80 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, a sack, 4 picks, 4 deflections, and 1 forced fumble.
Okay. So he playing pretty well right now. Cedric Kidd. He got what his brother doing for the Dolphins, man. Niles Kidd, and then look for Shaq Bonds too for the Colts.
Niles Kidd has
Shaq.
Niles Kidd has 37 tackles. He's a corner. 37 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, 1 pass deflection.
All right, so he on the diaper dandy list right now. Shaq Bonds, what position he play?
He plays left end. He has 21 assisted tackles, 41 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks.
So he putting in work right now, man. They got 2 diaper dandies for the Colts. And usually when you got guys, man, listen, how special is that for the Colts to be able to plug in and play some rookies as they continue their process on, turning their program around over there. For them to have 2 defensive players and 1 offensive player on this diaper dandy list, it's pretty big, man. It's pretty big, and that's the reason why they're holding down the 7th seed at this point right now. You look at the NFC, we look at any diaper dandies for the 49ers in the building. I think the 49ers players aren't the young boys right now. They do have one, Pierre Whitmore. I would like to see what position he plays. He's on his diaper dandy list. He's number 8 on the list out of the top 10 in the NFC. Pierre Whitmore for the 49ers. When we're looking at the 7th seed players, safety right now, what's his numbers?
45 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, 3 deflections, 6'4", 200. So that's true safety.
Is he playing start? Is he a starter right now?
I'll go see. Depth chart.
I can tell you by the stats. So I'm gonna look at general. I'm gonna tell you by the general stats. I'll tell you how many numbers he's getting. Where's he at? Where did he just go? Damn, I lost him. Might get there before me.
Yeah, he's starting free safety right now.
All right, cool. So now when you look at the quarterbacks in the NFC, you have to know that the 49ers is always the playoff teams with quarterbacks that be shitting on here, or the guys that are on their way to a playoff. If that's not the case, then there's always the computer teams, the teams that aren't playing their games and the computer playing for them. Those guys are on the list all the time. That's how I go. You're either on your way to the playoffs, got a shot to make the playoffs, and your quarterback will be in this top 10 guaranteed, because that means he's playing great football right now. Jerry Bradshaw is the number 1 quarterback in the NFC this year. I will swing back around to talk about Jerry Bradshaw. GETA Styles. It seemed like GETA Styles got quiet, man. He was the face of the league at one point, the way he was balling right now. And I think, now that these guys are 7-5, 2 games above 500, coming off of a disaster season last year, we need to start talking about GETA Styles at this point right now, man. This guy seems to every year to fall in love with a different receiver and makes that receiver a top tier type guy. Justin Fields is number 3 on this list. Doolittle is 4. Murray is 5. The best quarterback in the league is sitting at the 5th spot because of the offensive choice that they decided to do this year, which has become a run-heavy football team. Trey Lance is number 6. That's why this team is in position to be in the playoffs once more. Elijah Manning, he carrying the whole New York Giants team on his back right now, 8-3. Deshaun Watson is in the building. Teddy Bates rookie, not a rookie, 1 year player, right? Sitting there, Travis Walden, another 1 year player. These guys all came out in the same draft class. But Teddy Bates is for the Packers. You don't even have to look that up because he doesn't play his games. He's getting active now. Lamar Jackson at 1, Josh Allen at 2, Justin Herbert at 3, Kellen Mond at 4, Davion Branch is at 5 on this list. So now you see the 7 seed guys have their quarterbacks in the top 10 right now. When it comes down to the running backs right now, the Colts, Joey Adaya is number 5 on this list. As you can see, I keep telling y'all, those guys are playing big time football. Get to their team and playing big time football games. You know what I'm talking about? Hamlin is number 5 at the same spot. NFC. Hamlin is number 5 on this list for the 7 seed 49ers at this point right now. Hamlin is putting in twerks too. We'll talk about these guys and the numbers they got going on in a second. Let's get to the wide receivers and see what's going on. Damian Rice is number 1. So you look at Stankin Franklin, Trayvon Franklin. Hey Max, man, have you paid attention to this receiver Franklin? One of the top X Factor receivers to come out of our draft a couple drafts ago. I mean, the kid has been, is this the number 1 receiver for the 49ers? Or when they like the height, size speed combination, this kid's 5'11", a speed burner, but he's been a dog from the moment he stepped in the league. Trayvon Franklin, is it safe to say he's the number 1 threat for the 49ers?
I definitely think so. He has the number 1, like number 1 is his number. He's most receptions, most yards, most touchdowns for the Niners. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anthony Harvin is starting to become the Bears' number 1 receiver over there for Justin Fields. Henry Ruggs doing what Henry Ruggs do as a buck. Darnell Mooney, number 2 receiver for the Bears, is on this list as well. Biggie Smalls, you see I'm listening to my boy Big right now. And Smalls is here for the Washington football team. Hudson is still in the building. Marquise Norris, another diaper dandy. D-Hop still holding it down. And Metcalf, man, get up there and age guys are putting in work right now. DK Metcalf and Hop, number 10. But again, you see the 49ers got Franklin as a receiver now. In the AFC, let's see if the coach got into this top 10 when it comes down to receiver play right now. And they are. Zach Bowman from last year is still playing at a high level. He's number 10 on the list as receivers in the league. Not diaper dandies, the receivers of the whole AFC right now. He's number 10 on this list right now. So again, as I go through the award race right now, you're starting to see why these guys are in the playoffs right now. So Quentin Nelson is the number 3 offensive lineman. The Colts have another guy, Braden Smith, at number 10 right now. And the NFC, the 49ers on this show at all, usually going to see a whole bunch of bucks. No 49er offensive lineman in the building right now. Defensive lineman for the 49ers, you're going to see that. The kid that I said is a premier pass rusher in this league, Andrew Leonard, is sitting right here. I thought we saw his classmate, not classmate, his teammate, and Bosa, but he's not on this list. So as you can see, all right, so defensive pass rusher right now, Andrew Leonard is continuing to make waves and name for itself. In the AFC, if we got any Colts up here, yes we do. Kwity Paye is sitting here at number 5 on this list. Is there any more Colts? Nope, number 5, Kwity Paye right now. Max, you know all about Kwity Paye. What does the Colts have on this guy, Kwity Paye, man? What type of baller is this kid?
all-around player, pass rusher, run stopper, a leader, I would say, but also at the same time an intense player that shows up in big-time games and big-time moments, whether it's on the stat sheet or not. He's going to make his presence known more games.
I definitely agree. Linebackers. All right, so when you're looking for the Colts, we're still sliding down here. We don't have a Colt on here, although their diaper dandy, the middle linebacker kid, is balling like out of control right now. We're gonna come back in the show later on and talk about the 2 kid brothers from in the league right now. They both was in the same draft class. One plays linebacker, one plays corner for the Dolphins. One's the linebacker for the Colts right now. Both those guys are diaper dandies, and they both, making their name in this league right now. That's all you ask for. Make your name in this league. In the NFC, we're looking for a 49 at the linebacker position, and there's none. No 49 at the linebacker position, but we know for a fact they have a DB. Ambry Thomas is winning the defensive back award race right now. Is there any more 49ers on here? Then you can come down and you got Roman Chamberlain, and you got Michael Ojemudia is on here. How my mom said his name, Omuda. Omuda, she said the J is silent. So Omuda is number 9. At number 8, you got Roman Chamberlain. I think that's another corner. So their top 3 corners are on this list. No, Roman's a safety. All right. So, and then we saw the diaper dandy earlier. So you can see 3 DBs. So the 49ers secondary is looking like they got some ballers back there. So my question is this: is it these DBs legit? Or is it they're playing in a division where you can come out of a game with 8 to 9 interceptions with 2 teams over there, with the Seahawks and the Rams?
Without digging in the stats, my rough estimate would be division, but I also think schematically, they kind of fit what the Niners want to do, because they're not too heavy on man or too heavy on zone, I would say. So like they kind of play a balanced defense.
Okay. I like it. I do think they come out of a division where the turnovers happen a lot. Even the Cardinals turn the ball over a lot. So, like, they come from a turnover division. So, a lot of their stats, if you probably went game for game, a lot of their stats probably come from that division alone itself. So, I'm not taking nothing away from them, but, you know, that has to be noted at the same time. Do we have any Colts in the building in the secondary right now? Yes, we do. Lamar Sturdivant is number 10 on this list, the cornerback that played for the Ravens, who is now the starting number 1 corner for the Indianapolis Colts. At 2, they got safety Deontay Griffin is sitting at 2 right now. So they have 2 safeties in the top 10 for the defensive back award race right now. And this is the reason why these guys, to me, are special. Now let's look at stats and what they're doing on the year right now, and why they are the number 7 seeds in the league right now. I'll start with the Colts first, and we'll look at the Colts team, and then we'll go to the AFC South and what they're doing. So their quarterback, 32 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, 61%. Max, 239.7 yards a game. His QB rating, his QBR is a 106.6 right now. He averaged 10.7 yards a game. Why is Davion Branch playing solid enough football right now to be a playoff team?
I think the system is understanding what, what they can do with play action and the weapons that they have, drafted and honestly assembled, and they're starting to just being able to keen in and get a rotation between, who touches the ball, which makes the offense a lot simple for Branch, honestly. The 61% completion with such a QBR, with a good QBR, tells me that he's also, taking his chances, trying, things down the field, trying to get, his players to make plays for him.
Yeah, he turned it around, because this guy usually throw more interceptions than touchdowns, and right now he has 12 more touchdowns than picks. And he has the 60% completion rate, like you said, 61%. That's special right now. That's playing. It seemed like he got a handle of the offense. It took him a couple seasons to get it together, but he got it now. It seems like they understand what they're doing offensively, and the fact that they got a diaper dandy at the receiver position balling for him tells me that they can plug and play now. That's how comfortable the quarterback actually is right now. Joey Adaya on a short 184 carries has 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. He's averaging 100 yards a game right now, and I think that's the reason why the Davion Branch is having success throwing the ball, because they are 100. They average 100 yards a game running. So with that being said, them running the football the way they do, it's not overpowering the run game, but it's enough to keep you off balance, enough for them to make throws across the field right now. So I like it. So when you look at Zach Bowman, he's averaging 22.5, and this is the one thing that Coach Tillman and that offense missed. They didn't have a deep threat presence. It seemed like they found that, Max.
I definitely think they have, and they're starting to understand, what he can do. He has 22 average, almost 23 yards a catch. A lot of rack, well, the most rack on the team. Seems like he's definitely the deep shot. And with that speed, I'm not really mad at the coach, honestly.
And then if you think about it, we're looking at 3 receivers that's on their way to 1,000 yards. And if you really look at it, you have the opportunity to get these 3 receivers 1,000 yards. Don't know if he should try to, if he should just continue to play the way he's playing. But when you got guys, 9 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns, 9 touchdowns, from 3 wide receiver positions, you have 3 threats at the receiver position, and it changes things. And when we accustomed to seeing this team in the past, everything was checked down. They usually had a running back with more catches than the receivers. A lot of stuff was check down, check down, check down. Now that they have a deep threat presence in Zach Bowman, it seems like it's opening the offense up that much more now. Where, these guys are making plays for him right now because they got four guys that's guaranteed, 20 or more catches that can be a problem at any moment during a possession with this team. Between a die out the backfield with 23 catches, Samuels, the diaper dandy, with 34 catches and 9 touchdowns, and then the tight end Ezekiel Winters with 41 catches, 701 yards, 8 touchdowns, and then there's the deep threat guy Zach Bowman. This offense is different. It seems like it's balanced. It seems like they can, rush you for 100 yards and throw for 200 something yards a game at the same time. So they're producing somewhere between 300 and 400 yards a game right now as a team. And I think that correlates to them being the 7th seed right now. Simple as that. Now, how Nano go to their schedule and finish their last roundup to see how they get in the playoffs or stay in the playoffs right now.
Schedule Colts.
Max, when you got an offense that's balanced like this, man, they got a 1,000-yard back, couple of receivers on their way to 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns right now. What does this do as an offensive coordinator when you're in games? How does this open up your playbook?
Just confidence in your guys, you know what I'm saying? You're not scared to call certain plays because your guys have been producing all year. So it gives you the flexibility of just not being
One-dimensional?
predictable. Yeah, and one-dimensional. Predictable and one-dimensional, definitely. Lets you be able to bounce off of certain plays and put things together and even certain players and, know that Bowman maybe just had 2 big catches, so now, you do something with that, and you got Samuels, and now you got the tight end, just being able to trust and flexibility within the offense.
This team was a play away, a bad call by a referee, a play away from beating the Jaguars and getting over that hump, not being able to beat the Jaguars. But I think the way they're built, they are in a situation where, you have to count them as a threat in their division every year now.
I
Now,
definitely would agree.
you think about what they got to deal with schedule-wise right now. What's left on their schedule?
So they have the Chargers.
Big-time
They have
game.
the Broncos.
Big-time game.
They have the Cardinals.
Big-time game.
Bigger
They have the 49ers.
Big-time
and
game.
the Rams.
This team is in a situation right now where they got elite after elite after elite on their schedule to finish out. We talked about it yesterday. Oh my God, is it a tougher schedule out there right now? Oh my God.
I think
Holy
this
shit,
is
actually,
definitely
yeah.
a tough schedule.
I ain't gonna lie.
He,
said-
if he,
what's his
I
re-
feel
hold
like
on,
if
what's
he
his
can,
record?
8-4 right now.
8-4.
He's got to pull 2 out. If he can pull 2 out before he gets to the Rams, and then definitely pull the Rams out, that's 11 and
He got 2 teams. He got 2. I mean, what is that? 4, 3 or
Chargers,
4?
Broncos, Cards, 49ers.
That's 4 top. Yeah, 4 playoff teams before you get to the Rams, who's actually on their way up and coming as well. That's 4 teams, man. You do got to win 2 out of those. You got to win 2 out of those 4 games before you get to game 5.
Before you get to the Rams, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Before you even get to the Rams, you got to win 2. So.
If you're the coach and you sent your players home, they done for the night, and you guys got a long night, you're gonna be up to 4 in the morning, and y'all having coaches meetings right now, and this is the topic of your conversation. We're sitting at the 7th seed right now at 8-4, and have a schedule of all schedules right now coming down the stretch. How do you prepare yourself as a head coach and your staff as a unit, and then correlate that to your players? What do you tell these guys, and knowing that they grade being games of their lives? The impossible has to become possible now.
I feel like you tell your players, not really that it's a game of impossibles, but why not them? You know what I'm saying? They're having a really good season. They took some unfortunate losses, and I think you just got to remind your players honestly of them losses and what last year felt like to miss the playoffs shortly. So I think you got to go in there understanding you're the underdog, but that means you're more inviting to the dogfight. Practice has to be very efficient, not a lot of walking around, very quick to it, snap to it, you know what I'm saying? So you're getting all game reps in practice, you know what I'm saying? Everything has got to be a game time mentality. Really have to play playoff football for the next 4 weeks. to make it to the playoffs.
And in their situation, they got to play beyond playoff football. They got to
Playoff
play
football.
Super
Well,
Bowl football
yeah.
to be able to, keep themselves in the race for the seventh seed right now. Um, Unfortunately, I think they lost twice to the Jaguars already in their division. And if that happens, they definitely got to win 2 out of the next 4 games before they get to game 5. Um, well, hopefully this team is up for the challenge. We'll see. 49ers now. We go look at the 49ers, and we look defensively right now. These guys do get to the INTs right now. And that's the one thing I will say. I mean, you're looking at this team, there's 5 guys with 5 or more picks. 10 out of Ambry Thomas, 7 out of Roman Chamberlain. You got Michael O at 6, and then you got Telvin Hall, who we haven't really talked about at all, at 5 right now. So these guys are getting the turnovers. As far as getting to the quarterback, you got a guy with 11.5 and Nick Bosa with 8. So they got 2 guys coming off the edge, solidly getting to the quarterback at that point right now. Offensively, though, when you look at what they're doing at the quarterback position. Now last year they came into the playoffs where their quarterback was throwing just as many interceptions as touchdowns. They did change that a little bit. 38 touchdowns through the 23 interceptions at 64%. His quarterback is throwing for 331.3 yards a game, 112.6 QB rating, 13.3 yards a attempt, and he only been sacked 16 times. 3,644 yards. Trey Lance looked like he got it together now. Now having Trey Lance with his shit together right now, what does this do for the 49ers offense?
Kind of the same from the whole offense of the Colts. It changes to just Trey Lance. You know what I'm saying? That I think this team, to match their playing style, they have to be able to trust in the quarterback to make accurate throws and to make the kind of throws that allows receivers to do the things that he's doing while then falling back on a run game. Where I feel like the Colts, use the run game to open up the speed. I feel like the Niners hit you with height, and then they remind you we still got Tim Hamlin, kind of.
Right.
And then, I think Tim plays almost just as big as a role as Trey Lance when it comes down to playoff football.
Okay.
Truth be told.
All right, he's just under 100 yards a game, 98.5. He only 2 fumbles on the season, 6.1 yards a carry, 1,083 yards on 178 carries. Now, listen, Tim Hamlin is the guy in their backfield. They made that decision last year when they drafted him, and they sat down, a player that was playing at a high level at a late stage in his career, who actually devved up and still got sat down for the whole year. So that tells you how special and how important Tim was to this team. When you get to the receiving game, this is the thing for Trey Lance. The way this team plays, they rely on their receivers to make plays. They have a throw it up basketball mentality, throw it up and dunk on you type offense, and I think it can get you in trouble at times. So let me ask you, Max, when we watch this team play and you see a lot of the 50-50 balls go up, that's actually part of the offense. They trust in Trey Lance, they trust in his receivers to go make plays for him. Do you think they can over-trust, though?
I definitely think they can over-trust, just because, what I'm saying, we're not the only ones that are aware of the offensive scheme at hand. So I feel like it's kind of it lies too much in the fact that it's 50-50. People can focus on the positive 50, but the other negative 50 is just as big as the positive 50. Mm-hmm. So it definitely is, I would argue, too much trust, especially when your core receiver is 5'11". So it's
right.
Not counterintuitive, but more just too much trust.
Right, so when you look at it, this team is a downfield team. They're a vertical team, all right? So, their top receivers not tight ends, they're top receivers. 22.7 yards a catch from Stankin Franklin, 13 touchdowns. Adrian Jones, the Florida State product, 6'4", 31.9 yards a catch right now. 893 yards, 6 touchdowns.
31.9 is telling you right there.
That's to throw it up, right? So Kittle's
down the field.
I mean, 19.3. That's down there 20 yards a pop for Dorian Lewis, the tight end. So they're letting you know they're vertically stretching you. And then you even come down here to Joe Carter at 6'5", 220, 23.3 yards a catch right now. There's not a guy on this team that's under 20 yards a catch right now. These guys attack you deep. Can they survive with that in the playoffs though?
Truthfully, I don't think so. I think it'll have to be a more broken down offense. Not saying that the deep vertical threat, jump ball won't be presented, but I think you got to be more intuitive about, your 50-50s in the playoffs because, those turnovers hurt a little bit, a lot more, not even a little bit more, a
Yeah,
lot
I
more.
agree. I just think in playoff football, you playing the coach, the coach of the coaches. You know what I'm saying? These guys know how to coach, and they're not going to sit there and lose to, your athlete better than mine. Every athlete on the field is dogs when you playing in the playoffs.
Playoffs, exactly.
So you're not just going to be winning these one-on-one matchups all the time. They do have to put drives together. And to be able to put those drives together, I think Stankin, Franklin, and Hamlin are the guys that they can rely on in those moments to be able to move the ball, move the chains, catch drags, crossing routes, out routes, possession catches, get 8 yards on this carry, catch the ball at the backfield, catch a 4-yard pass, turn it to 15, 12 yards, shit like that. They gonna have to rely on Hamlin and Franklin to be able to do that, and these two guys can do that. You look at Franklin, he's 255 rack 6.1 yards after the catch. So he can make the plays, right? We know he can catch the ball and make plays after he catches the football. You look at Hamlin over 195 yards run after the catch. He averaging 8.5 yards every time he touches the ball. So these are the two guys that can absolutely, move chains and keep things going for them. And, while you have Adrian Jones and you have Joe Carter in 50-50 jump ball moments. But I think Dorian Lewis has to be more than just a vertical tight end. I think he has to be able to be a possession receiver for this team as well. Being able to, catch the short passes. Bella's quarterback out at times right now. Show that he can really run routes as a rookie right now, and they're going to rely on this guy in the playoffs. The fact that they still have Kittles here helps that out big time right now. When you see two tight ends on, that's active on this team, that tells you that they go into a lot of different formations. They can go into 12 personnel, fast 11 personnel. They do a lot of things like that. So my question for you would be this, Max, leading this offense. How does this team keep themselves in the playoffs going down the stretch? As you look at their schedule now, we want to know who they play, but Max, we want to know how do they keep themselves in at least at the 7th seed to finish the season.
I think honestly, keep the
What,
program the
Mom?
way it's going. As
All
far as
right.
productivity in the stats, I definitely like the productivity in the stats. So I think the offense isn't the problem. Maybe start breaking it down, like like we were saying, like break it down as far as same offense, but instead of looking 30 yards, 20 yards, you're okay with 5, 7, but you're mixing up the style. That way you get more comfortable and just, what I'm saying, when you get into the playoffs, you have something to bounce off of. But I don't think the offense is running necessarily bad. I think the balancedness and the productivity is kind of actually pretty good. Uh, you
I
got
just
two
think the
tight
time
ends.
Trey Lance take the wait for a 20-yard route that opened up, in the
Ex-
playoffs, you got dogs
You got
chasing you
top.
down.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So got to break the offense down. Got to be comfortable with 9,
I'm on my podcast.
10,
What's up?
8, 9, 10, 11 play drives. Like, got to be comfortable with that.
This one.
Because
Hmm. I'm
with,
listening.
with
My
a
bad.
like with a 30 yard, you good with a 30-yard pass. You know what I'm saying? Like you're looking at probably a 6, 7 play drive you're trying to achieve. Probably then, you know what I'm saying, 30-yard or a 20-yard here and a 30-yard there. Like that's moving the ball at a pretty high volume. And honestly, you can't assume that high volume will be concurrent all the way in the playoffs. You have to be able to be okay and comfortable with a 10, 11, 12 play drive here and there, especially in playoff fashion.
What teams have succeeded in the playoffs and win playoff games and move forward to playing a big game? You've seen those teams do exactly that. Put 12 play drives together. Use their run game. Let their run game get them up and down the field and rely on that run game to get them up and down the field. They have the running back to do it. Um, he's a year older. He's not going to be a diaper dandy in the playoffs this year. He's a young gunner, right? And I think they can rely on this kid with his 6.1 yards to carry. You know, yards after contact is 263. Broken tackles is not his style, even though he's 214 pounds. He's not a break tackle guy. He's an elusive running back that make things happen. But if you look at him as a receiver, he's short on 23 catches, 236 yards, 10.3 a catch. But those 10.3 is 8.5 run after the catch. That's huge to me. I think that's what you rely on when you're in the playoffs, or even finishing the stretch. And we look at the schedule coming down the stretch. Nano, what are they dealing with?
They got the Rams. They have a one next to their name. I tried to look at an update, but it looks like he got the broadcast down, so it might be lagging. He got the Cardinals, week 14, Texans, Jags, Colts, and then the Cardinals again. So he hasn't played the Cardinals yet. They play late in the season, week 14 and 18.
My question is that a good thing that they haven't faced the Cardinals yet,
No,
or that can hurt them down the stretch?
I definitely think it hurts them down the stretch.
All right. So, and you name those games again. Seems like the Cardinals are the two key games in the Colts, but they got the Jaguars on the schedule as well.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Cards twice, Jags and Colts, I think would be the ones. I feel like if he can split with the Cardinals, it would be nice.
That's what he needs. He needs to split with the Cardinals and the AFC South, basically, to secure a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't lose to the AFC South and split with Falk.
So he got to beat the AFC South, split with Falk, and to be able to maintain that 7th seed.
The 7th seed, probably for sure. You want to wrap up the Rams because that's division, and then the Texans. You want to get that through, but don't get it fucked up. Go in there and try to do bully ball. You might get in the game.
The Texans can still one. Don't ever think they can't.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I've seen it. I've seen it done before. So.
All right. Well. What do y'all think his chances of making the playoffs are?
49ers? 65%
Mm-hmm.
chance.
And the Colts?
With that schedule, I'm gonna be realistic. About
I'm gonna say 30.33, something like that. 33.3 chance.
I was gonna give him a 35% chance with that schedule. Honestly, that shit is tough.
That's a brutal fucking schedule coming down the stretch, man.
Schedule. Yeah.
That's a fucking dog shit schedule. That sucks. Like if I'm,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like the football guy's fucking
fucking
him right now. Oh my god.
That schedule is prolific. Oh my god.
I don't think we've seen a tougher schedule. That I'm saying that'll make that'll turn boys to men real fast though.
Not to get in the offs. I don't think not in the wild. Not one that looks like that. Oh my god.
This is literally playoff football for him, like right now.
I'm telling you, not. And I got it right. Super Bowl fucking football, bro.
Yeah, Super Bowl football.
The Broncos, the Cardinals, and then you gotta end with the Niners, and then the Rams. Like you gotta do all that to get to the Rams.
Man, just to get to the Rams.
And that's not even an off. That's like getting. You just gotta like you. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So let's take the same path we took with the 7th seeds and go to the 6th seeds right now and take the same path, right? And we're gonna come out of here. We're gonna go to awards. We want to see, big time players make big time plays, big time moments, all right? And those big time players that make big time plays allow their team to play in big games. Remember that all the time. Go back to stats and awards, and we're looking at the Bills in the AFC as the 6th seed right now, and the Cowboys in the NFC as the 6th seed right now. You go to the award waste right now, and you're looking at MVPs. Josh Allen is number 3 on this list. He is still in the mix and still fighting for this year's 2026 MVP winner. 2 spots down, they have a diaper dandy and Chris Paul at the wide receiver position is number 5 on the MVP race list. Down here at 8, 3 spots later, you have Joey Cummings, the Cowboys running back. We're gonna stop right there before I go through any more awards right now. Max, you play Joey Cummings twice a year. This team is assembled. They do a great job everywhere. Free agency trades. The GM skills is really, really good over there with this coach. What makes Joey Cummings special?
He's kind of like a brute force back. He's like, I'll take the yards by brute force. I'll take my 4 in a cloud of dust, 3 in a cloud of dust, and I think that makes him happy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he actually gets joy out of 4 yards and then just leaning a little forward. 5 yards, making somebody bounce off of him. You know what I'm saying? So I think he enjoys being a cloud of dust back, which honestly fits the type of offensive line that was assembled and still was added to by the Cowboys. So I think he's also he likes that. He has a good relationship with his O line, definitely.
Yeah, he bought them all Rolexes last week.
Yeah, type
So
shit.
they got a really good relationship over there. Here's my thing though. He's a contact back. So he wants to contact. But and when you have a young quarterback that came in the same class you came in, you became the leader of this team. You the reason why Ezekiel Elliott is no longer a presence on this football team. Their recipe to success was Ezekiel. The same thing: run strong, run game, and play solid enough defense to get their team into the playoffs. They're the 6th seed right now. That's 7-4. Nano will check their schedule out in a second. But when you look at this Joey Cummings guy, man, and you look at what they're doing offensively, it starts here. He is really the real deal, and here's why: their quarterback hasn't figured it out yet at all. He hasn't shown that he can win a game if the game was put in his hands. They have weapons at the receiver position, even at the tight end position, but again, the quarterback is not up to speed yet. Steam Beaming is just not grasping the game, in 2 seasons. And sometimes it takes guys a little longer. He's on that trail of, is this the guy? He's at that borderline, one more season of not being able to show, you can win some games from the quarterback position might mean that they might be looking for another quarterback. And by me saying that tells me exactly why Joey Cummings is that much important to this football team. He's the guy that's going to make Jerry Jones say, all right, well, none of us want to no owner wants to give a running back money anymore. They don't really, they're durable. You can go get plenty of running backs and you don't want to, but this guy demands it. Like, he's so good for this Cowboys team that he can get quarterback money, in my opinion. How long can the Cowboys last and continue to make the playoffs and make waves in their division, not only in their division and the NFC conference itself, with just a heavy runner and really no passing game to go along with it?
I'm sorry. Repeat that last part. I just looked
I
this
want
up.
to know how long can the Cowboys keep this up, where they got a strong run presence and not a passing game to go along with it.
How
How
long
long can
did
they
it
get
last
away
with
with it?
Zeke? How long last with Zeke? 2 years?
I mean, yep, you had Zeke on that 1 year run, and then the
Yeah.
next year they didn't make the playoffs, and then but since then they've been back in the mix again because they have Joey Cummings now. So I guess my
Well,
question is, I'm telling you this running back special because they don't have a quarterback that has it figured out yet, and
and
they're
he's
winning
still,
ball
yeah.
games still with a strong defense and a run game.
I give it about mm, a year. I don't think uh, 2 years. 2 years. I'll give it about 2 years. I might be saying that because I'm divisional, but I get about 2 years because a lot of credit goes to that offensive line.
And
To me,
then you watch that Cowboys Eagles game, um, and then we talking about Steam and Beam and not being able to really process the game as fast or the way we would think he should be in season 2. But in that Eagles and Cowboys game, the run game was there, but I thought the passing game kind of won them that game, right? Am I wrong in that game? They threw the ball really well in that game, right?
I would say that definitely won them the game because the ability to throw for like what 239 or some shit like that.
208 for
Well,
13 completion, 15 attempts, 13 completions, one
Hmm.
touchdown, one interception.
13 or 15. Well, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. The ability that's first downs. That's right there. That's all that is. It's first
Now
downs. So
I enjoy that, right? You like what you see, but it's inconsistent. If you go through their season, it's been an
yeah,
inconsistent at the quarterback's position. But the one spot that's not inconsistent is Joey Cummings. When you watch a team that if I'm playing the Cowboys, I don't care about their receivers. I'm stopping their running back. That's that. And if I stop their running back, I think I can blow this team out. And that's how I feel coming to the game. I'm not saying everybody should feel that way, but that's how I feel if I come into that game. Now, with that being said, does that tell you how special Joey Cummings is?
it does. Because he's something that you know is going to be consistent within the offense. So I think being that that's your main priority, that definitely tells you, you know.
So is this one of the better backs in the league? Are we looking at a running back that we should, because of the production and how important he is to his football team, be looked at as one of the best running backs in the league?
Better and best is such a tricky word play. Better, yes. I don't know about best. I think the playoffs will like. I think playoffs is an addition to best when you get there with that. Um, how much can you be productive in the dog of dogs? You know
All
what I'm
right,
saying?
all right,
So yeah.
all right, all right. So as we continue to look through the MVP, we saw that we had Chris Poole there. We saw Josh Allen on this list right now. So now let's go to AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Josh Allen is number 2 on the quarterback list. The rebirth of Josh Allen. So Max, well, let's talk about this real fast. We at one point Josh Allen was looking. We were screaming, um, you know, backup quarterback Mondays. Josh Allen needs to go to another team. Somebody else need to come get him. We were screaming that. They get a new coach in. That new coach didn't even look at Josh Allen as a starter at one point. And then all of a sudden he became a starter, and this offense started striking where they scoring over 40 points a game right now. Why is Josh Allen playing at a high level? Why did he resurrect his career? What is it? Is it coaching? Is it the scheme? Is it the player? Like what's happening in Buffalo that we're not really getting a keen sense of idea of why Josh Allen is playing like the number 2 quarterback in the league right now?
I think you just have a coach that kind of understands the talent that he was given. I would say all three. Understands that Josh Allen, to play probably the best Josh Allen football in Madden, you probably have to play like Josh Allen, which is,
Right.
you know what I'm saying,
Gunslinger and run.
gunslinger and run and comfortable with throwing the deep shots, knowing that his throw power is going to let you place it a little bit out of reach a lot of times. And he complements that by a player, the third part, and Chris Poole, you know what I'm saying? I think it just trifecta. It's all three of them. The coach
So you
understands
think
the player.
drafting that 99 or 98 speed receiver like they did gave Josh Allen the threat that he
I think,
needed to be successful?
yeah, I would say that like Josh Allen is the lighter, waiting for the spark with your finger, which would be Chris Poole.
Okay.
And
So
Chris
Chris
Poole is
Paul
your
is the
finger.
reason why that shit lit.
Yeah. So but Josh Allen is the lighter, holding the
Okay.
flame. You just gotta, and when you drafted Chris Poole, I'm guaranteeing the first practice they were like, oh shit.
Right away, right? Like this is
Oh
what he
shit!
got.
So Josh like, hold up, I'm good, coach. I'm back. Oh, coach, shit.
Is this Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hillish?
Yeah, like I feel like that's exactly what. Like when I watch the games, that's what it reminded me of. I'm not gonna lie.
Mom, I gave you a lighter already. See, you keep saying how you. That's not the lighter I gave you. I gave you a blue one. You keep losing lighters.
Flinging that shit for sure. I definitely would say it's Tyreek Pat Mahomes-esque.
Yeah, I think it is too, man. And as you can see, number 3 on this list, Offensive Player of the Year, is Chris Poole, the diaper dandy right now. And the fact that he getting this out of a diaper dandy like this, you think they can hold this up in the playoffs? You think this kid can play in that magnitude? Miami, the University of Miami hasn't been a playoff team in about 6 seasons right now. Although they have this was, if Chris Poole had one more year in college, we'll be talking about the college playoffs with this team. They are loaded coming out. You'll see how many guys they got coming out of the draft this year. Miami is loaded. But he hasn't played significant football. Even in high school, they never made a playoff. He just been a special speed guy. He's one of those kids that's a track guy that was able to translate it to football. So it's not a football player running a track player playing football. This is a football player with track speed on the field right now. He's a route runner. He's a possession. He's a go get it guy. He has that swagger, bro, and he has that back in the day, Miami University, the U type of football inning where they're in the league. Miami players in the league. He's starting that pool up again. No pun intended, Chris Poole. I mean,
Playoff wise, I think bringing back Diggs, Will Fuller, still a solid O line, and then honestly, the coach isn't unkeen of playoffs. We're talking
Right.
about a guy that understands playoffs.
Right.
So I think that will be and I think that would be honestly the telltale of. I don't know if Chris Paul, with the season he's having, you would hope and think that he would not act like a rookie, show up like a rookie. But I think that coach should be able to decipher, if he is, and kind of bounce off of that. You know what I'm saying? With the other options that they have.
And you'll see the other options in a second. Right now, you go look at the NFC Offensive Player of the Year. Joey Cummings is number 3 on this list right now. And the NFC, it starts with Hits Israel running back, Ronald Jones the second, Mr. TD Man himself, and then there's Joey Cummings right now. At number 3 on this list right now. How important is that for the Cowboys at this point? Having their running back, the number 3 NFC Player of the Year right now, Offensive Player of the Year.
I mean, honestly, for them, they probably feel like shit. He's been our guy. We've trusted in him, and our defense, kind of the old school style football. Right before like 2 years ago, Titans type of football. Veterans and some young guys running around on defense with the Derrick Henry effect. And you see what happens with them. They got just as far as the AFC Championship, and then missed it the other year with the same type of offense. So it gives them, I feel like, a sense of confidence that as long as we get to the playoffs, we can use Joey Cummings and his good season. Looks like he's having a good to great season.
I'm gonna go back to this question. Running a football in the playoffs is a must. We know that. All of us know that. The successful teams in the playoffs are able to run a football. But can the Cowboys come into the playoffs as already a running team, running at a high level? Can they come into the playoffs without being able to have a solid passing game to cover up for that run?
They would be kind of first of many in a way. I'm trying to think. Because I wouldn't even slander like the Bucks is like, we know they run heavy, but their passing production has never been questioned. Maybe like
the Patriots.
Maybe I was about to say the Patriots, maybe, but I was thinking more like last year's Jacksonville, because Trevor Lawrence was good, but was he great last year, or was it Etienne was just that fucking good?
It was the Etienne effect. Effect.
And their defense was good, so that I think honestly, like they can. It definitely permits them in the playoffs when you have a good defense. Defense wins championships. Defense wins your playoff games. The running pace is what can you continuously run? Can you effectively run? Is the real I don't know if they can do that.
But maybe the best friend, Max, the best friend to a strong defense is a great running game.
Run game, exactly, to keep the defense off the field. That's what I'm saying. But it has to be effective in the playoffs for it to all compel together and make it a recipe for a playoff win.
How good is the Cowboys defense? In the NFC Defensive Player of the Year award, there's not a Cowboy on this list right now, right? Individual award I know, but team wise, how good is this defense? You've played it. The Patriots have played it. Both of y'all had different results in those games. So I'll start with you, Nano. In your game against them, what did you feel about their defense?
It's a heavy dose of blitzing defense. If the blitz don't come, they're fucked.
Okay, I like that.
That's just my opinion.
Okay, now you, Max, what do you think about the defense?
I think we don't get heavy dose blitz. 2 reasons. 1, torching that shit. 2, we had Saquon beforehand. So although we might get a press look, we get press zone. We get, press man 1, man 2. We do get blitz still, just not heavy. But I think in all, I credit front 7 first to the Cowboys.
Okay.
It makes the back end job that much easier for a veteran Marlon, and you still got young Diggs, and then you got newly gifted other bull, forget his name, but I can't think of it right now. But
Joseph, the corner.
Yeah, Calvin Joseph. I just can't think of his first name. Yeah, you got him. So you got still like mid-age, youngish guys, but the linebacking core is, without a doubt. And
bonkers.
Fucking
it's bonkers.
And then the
flat out
fat-ass
bonkers.
tackle in the middle with still old, Khalil Mack. It's all the recipes for, let me just get in the playoffs.
It's a playoff built defense.
built
Flat
defense
out
because
playoff built
what we
defense.
just said, the bonkers and the bonkers linebacker core in the front seven counteracts everybody getting in the playoffs thinking they finna give the Cowboys fucking 30 carries. Like
Right.
that's what they thinking. Well, and they were believing in their system because that's just the way their defense is built. You know, you're not finna give me 30 fucking carries and think you're gonna have to throw the
You're
ball.
not going to be able to do to me what I do to y'all. Simple as that.
Exactly.
That's
Which every
their.
team's
That's
going
how
to
they
want to do.
gotta be. Yeah, that's how they gotta look at it. Okay, come in here and think you gonna butt ball me because I'm butt balling you. My defense is prepared for that butt ball shit. They flying around at that linebacker position. That is one thing they do. And they got veterans across that front D line along with some rookies and young guys. Not rookies, but first year players and young guys. The Cowboys, they're not even nowhere near finish of what they're gonna look like in the next season or two. And that's defensively, and that's with the veterans on their team. They still find those veterans that's playing at a high level. They always find the veterans that still playing at a high level where they don't lose their abilities and things. And that helps out, man, especially in the playoffs when you got a team that's aware. You know, a smart team in the playoffs is usually a good team in the playoffs. But defensively, they don't have a player on this list right now. How about the Bills? Are we going to find any Bills up here? Yes, we are. Tre'Davious White has become, back to an elite corner for this Buffalo Bills team right now. And then now you come down the stretch. You got Tyrann Matthews, old but goodie. When you got the veteran on here who the Chiefs giving up on and said his career is over, he goes into Buffalo, and this is probably going to be a player that dropped down to a normal star, maybe, I think, at the most. That will be developed back next season at the end of the year. If he brings him back, he'll be on a ability next year.
Mm-hmm.
Are we seeing something with this team right now? They went and got a bunch of veterans like this on their team that they picked up out of free agency, and they didn't care about them losing their abilities, but they making them play back to their abilities. That might be something that we can be looking forward to the future, or something that he's starting right now.
I definitely think it's it could be something he's starting for the caliber of guys that understand what they're looking for out of those veterans. Because you still got to be, like you said, comfortable enough that when they get dropped or if they get dropped, they still serve a purpose on your team. So I could see why, I could see why these guys are in the top 10, because to that coach they are serving purpose, which means they're getting the opportunity, and there's a scheme for it. So I definitely think some guys might get into it. Some of the other coaches that maybe might look at their roster and question, damn, do I really want to play this young guy when I can go maybe slide a veteran? And although the veteran might not upgrade every week, he'll maybe give you some wins. So I think maybe guys will understand that and maybe see that as far as the Bills came in and grabbed some veterans, one draft class, and here they are in the playoffs. We're talking about them.
Listen, when you think about the Buffalo Bills, think of two things. Think of life support and resurrection. Simple as that. These guys are resurrecting players. Josh Allen resurrected. Tre'Davious White resurrected. Tyrann Matthews, the Honey Badger, resurrected. And then they're doing that with a bunch of young guys running around. Devin Hall is on this list right now. 3 out of 10 are in the top 10 Defensive Player of the Year award right now. Charge it up, you said? All right. That's GMing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's going out right there. You know what that is, Max? That's going out and making a team yours, building a team that played to what you wanted to play. You know what I mean?
Whether it's veterans, you got the draft class, you did it all real quick. That way, it serves your purpose for the season, not a wasted season. Not a come in and tank for 2 years. None of that. Came in mid-season, understood that, damn, okay, I still won some games, still lost some games, but he was doing it by learning his team. You know what I'm saying?
No complaint, right? You can't be one of those guys that come into a team. He didn't come into the best team on the game. Some guys that came in his league came into some really good football teams. This guy came into a team that really wasn't managed at all, for the most part. They had some spurts on their team, but he had to go make it work, and he did exactly that. It's almost that Deion effect, 40-40-20. Free agency, maybe some trades here and there. That'd be the 20, and then draft. So 40-40. 40 free agency, 40 draft, 20 trades. And he is sitting in a comfortable situation right now. Again, 3 of those guys are in the top 10 Defensive Player of the Year. Now let's look at the offensive rookies. Chris Paul obviously is balling out of control right now. The problem is we've seen rookie receivers have great seasons. So although he's having a great season and a special season that gotta really sit there and think about, if you go look at his numbers when we get to it, he's a monster for them right now. So Chris Paul's sitting here #1 rookie of the year for the AFC. Outside of the kid Rice from the Saints at the receiver position, there might not be a receiver playing better football. And consistent football, or means as much as they mean to their football team, than Chris Paul right now. So we like to see that. And you go look at the Cowboys in the NFC. Do they have any diaper dandies doing anything? I think not. Defensive rookies. How about any diaper dandies for the Cowboys on here? I think not. When you go back to the AFC and you're looking for diaper dandies, you're going to see the Bills at the #2 spot. Derek Hill. I don't know if this is their pass rusher or the linebacker. I know Hall or Hell, one of them are a linebacker, one of them a pass rusher.
This is the end. I'm about to look it up. This is the end, though, if I'm not mistaken. When we went to the Bills about a couple weeks ago.
And then C.J. Kitchens, another Miami player right now. Remember I told you Miami is starting to turn it up in college for right now. They're balling. They got some guys coming out again. C.J. Kitchens at D tackle is a monster. Day one monster. Really good speed at the D tackle position and strength to match that speed. Is making him a problem in the middle right now. He's on this list as well. So Derek Hell is either the outside linebacker or the DN, one of the two.
He's the outside linebacker.
Outside linebacker, and then C.J. Kitchens. Just read off his stats, not stats, his attributes. What we looking at C.J. Kitchens? How big is he?
C.J. Kitchens is 6'4", 295, D tackle.
If you're looking at Warren Sapp's clone right now, go ahead. 6'4", how much?
295.
Okay, 300 pounds. Go ahead. What's his speed and cell?
I'm looking at it right now. His speed is 84, Excel is 85, 96 strength.
This kid can play he can play DM for anybody right now.
Yeah, I was about to say finesse moves is 84. The power moves is 82. So he's
legit, and sitting in the middle right now. These guys got it, man. They figuring it out right now. So there you go, defensive players. They have Hell up here at the #2 guy, defensive rookie of the year award race right now. Diaper dandy. You come on down to C.J. Kitchens, diaper dandy. All right, and they got 2 out of the top 10 right now. Best quarterback, obviously Josh Allen is #2 on this list. When you look at quarterbacks, you're not going to find the Cowboys quarterback on this list whatsoever, which is fine though. But you will find their running back at #3 right now, behind Ronald T.D. Jones and Hicks Israel at the running back position. So they're #3. Now, when you look at the AFC and best running backs, you're not going to find the Bills. Oh my God, I lied. The Bills. Remember we talked about them not having a run game. Kendrell Golden III right now is sitting at 7 in the AFC right now.
I like him.
How important is that?
I think it's definitely important, and it's very. I think it's very.
It's telling.
I was about to say very like telling. Like it's not in your face, but it's like you could look past it if you want. But
this ain't a small running back either.
Yeah, that means what it means for the offense. That means that guy flows when he needs to flow. But that #1 offensive player, you see his pool, but don't get it fucked up. Like we got it back, and he's good.
What's his read off his credentials? What's the size?
I'm already going over them.
You know this was an ex-Raven, right?
Yeah, I do. I remember this. We talked about the Bills earlier, and we talked about what they were just equipped with on this team, but we didn't get into the stats because it was so early, I think.
I don't need the stats. I just want to know what his attributes look like. Who is this kid? Because he was already a dog for the Ravens, just couldn't get on the field.
5'11", 230, coming out of Florida State.
See if she sleep. I don't know.
95.
That speed?
Yeah. Speed
Say
excel.
5'11", 230 pounds?
Yep, coming out of Florida State, 95, 94 break tackle. 95 trucking. Oh my God. 94 stiff arm, 84 strength. Oh my God, he's stronger than tight ends out there.
What is his agility and change of direction for a guy that big with that type of speed?
96 change of direction, 91 agility.
Wow. I'm starting to think this offense is very special right now, bro. I mean, you got a big back that can run in between tackles, and the type of offense they have, you know, they got a fast-paced, quick, hurry-up offense, roll out, make plays. This guy is going to be a playmaker in their offense in the passing game, and he can really line up, and they can give you 30 carries if they want to. I mean, the Bills they're hitting, and you see why they're giving the AFC East problems right now. This is how you do it. This is how you come into a league as a coach and map it out. See what you got, take what you got, you know, straight build from what you got, and then bring in pieces. You know, hit the draft, do what you got to do in the draft. Not only do what you got to do in the draft, tear up free agency, and bring in the players that all the cast offs that nobody else want, that you know has high thresholds, and you can make them do what they do right now. That's very impressive. Now, when you look at the receivers, they got the number 1 receiver in the AFC. They have the number 3 receiver in the AFC, Anton Carter and Chris Poole. They're hitting. The Bills are hitting on all cylinders right now. And as far as the Cowboys, if we look at the 6 seed, they don't have a receiver on them on the building at all. O-line, you look at the Cowboys, I would think you'll see a Cowboys somewhere in the mix. All right, so Fowler's there, and Zach Martin, agent Zach Martin, is still holding it down. 2 out of the top 10. In the AFC, you look at their offensive line, you're looking at the Bills. Anybody in the building? Not a Bill in sight. Defensive line, though, Devin Hall is the defensive end. There we go. He's number 2 on this list behind Peter Boulware. Petey Boulware is number 1. Devin Hall is number 2. Are we going to find another Bill on here? No. Now, let's look at that Cowboy front 4. Is anybody on this front 4? We don't see a Cowboy up here. Doesn't mean that they're not playing good football at the D-line level. We just don't see it. Now, I would expect to see a Cowboy at this linebacker level. Hopefully we do. And we don't get one there. Now, Max, does that hurt that they don't have a guy for the award race? Or I'm starting to see a theme with this Cowboys team. The more we talk about them, the more their defense look like a team defense more than an individual standout defense.
I was just about to say, I think they're just operating off a team defense. And I think that can be beneficial, but it also just it will concur in the coach's head. I feel like maybe when you're on that game day and you got the controller in your hand and you're like, I need somebody to make a play. Has anybody been doing that for you during the season? Kind of
right. And when we look at the stats, we'll see. But you know, you want to see somebody standing out that you can rely on. Simple as that.
And the awards is just the dictation that we have right now for it, but definitely we'll see. And there's still plenty of football going on, honestly.
Plenty of football left. All right, so Derek Hell, this is a diaper dandy, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, so Derek Hell is up here with some really big time names in the AFC at the linebacker position. He's number 3 on his list. So he's getting out of. I would assume maybe this might be his user.
Let me look.
Outside linebacker. If he's outside linebacker, it's possible. Maybe he's playing in the middle with the 2 linebacker formations.
I would think Battles is maybe his user because he's getting a lot of sacks, tackles for loss. That's 8 sacks. I don't think he's his user. Maybe Battle.
So when you look at the DBs in the AFC, right? Martin Johnson is number 1 on this list. Stearns is there. Tre'Davious White is number 3. AI is number 4. Tyrann Matthews, the Honey Badger, is number 5 on this list. So 2 DBs on this team, veterans too. These are the guys that resurrecting their career are sitting on this list right now. So they have it figured out right now. As you can see, we keep it moving. Is there a Cowboy on this list? You know it is. Humphreys. I think they flip flop every year between Diggs and Humphreys who's going to be on the list or the race for best DBs award race. Marlon is still here right now, veteran, and still holding shit down right now. And I think he got about 3 or 4 more seasons with Marlon Humphreys if they are still interested in playing with him. But he is on this list right now. Now, when you come out of the award race and you just look at what the 2 6 seeds look like as a team, I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like about these 2 teams. So we'll start with the Buffalo Bills first. And there's really nothing you don't like offensively. Their quarterback should be a 6,000 yard quarterback before the season is over with. 56 touchdowns, 24 interceptions. He's 71%. This guy's averaging 431.3 yards a game right now with 127.5 QB rating. This the thing. For him to be mobile and move around as much as he do in and out of that pocket, he's only been sacked 11 times. That line is holding up, or he's just special. He understands when to take off, when to let the ball go, when to throw it out of bounds. He's at a high clip, 71%, so he's throwing a football. You know what I mean? For a quarterback to be as mobile as he is, and the way he plays, the way they move the pocket for this guy all the time. How is he only at 11 sacks? Why aren't people getting to him?
Um, Shit. Honestly, I think it's definitely just understanding when he needs to take off and getting down and sliding, whether it's for 2 or 3 yards or getting out of bounds. You don't want to get Josh Allen hurt. And I would argue that, 71% completion, maybe some of those are still throwaways, honestly, just of not taking that sack, just getting out the pocket and throwing the ball away if nothing's there. If something's there, taking the hell off.
Right.
Um,
We
with
know he takes
Josh's
the hell
speed
off.
and
He got
ability,
41
yeah,
attempts. He's second on the team in rushing yards. So, for rushing yards and rushing attempts, 41 carries. He's averaging 9.8 yards a carry,
definitely
401
taking the
yards, 4 touchdowns. He do have 4 fumbles. We know the real quarterbacks that come on the game, they fumble. We know that. Lamar's got a high fumble percentage as well too. Now Kendrell Gardner, we looked at his stats: 5.5 yards a carry, 853 yards. He only has 156 carries, 14 rushing touchdowns. Um, are we seeing a lack of production out of this guy, or is this is
usage,
perfect for
usage,
what they do?
usage, and production a little bit. 5.5 isn't bad. Touchdowns is there. Actually, I won't say production because this is a pass team. Let's be frank. So half a first down to pop isn't bad,
At
honestly.
all?
I think 71 yards a game is a little on the unsafe side, but he's a touchdown. He's making sure he's getting some touchdowns with 14 touchdowns, 1 fumble, almost 40 break tackles. So he's running strong. This isn't
You
bad,
see the
honestly.
speed, 80 is the
Yeah,
longest run. You see the speed, 34 broken tackles. Yeah,
this
I
isn't
mean you see
bad.
it.
Yeah,
You see the attributes you read off earlier. You can see that throughout his stats.
literally.
Um, so we're dealing with it now. Chris Paul, 111 catches on the year, 2,325 yards, 31 touchdowns. With another receiver with 49 catches with 1273. Tight end got 41 catches. Now the production receivers, as far as scoring touchdowns, is down from those two guys, right? But these guys are still 35 catches from the running back, 22 from Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs' role now for this team is, I'm a leader for this team. Call on me when you want. I'm not the guy that demands all the play calling. You're
Yeah,
not going to call
not
my
finna be
number all
running
the
them blue
time.
babies all the
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
yeah, but I'm
I'm
still
not.
here. I'm still here, and I can play uh, reliable football when you need me to.
I
But these
think Diggs
first
is
two
definitely the
guys,
sure hands, the
yeah,
sure hands on the team.
20.9 yards a catch out of Chris Poole. I mean, this guy has 1,011 yards run after the catch right now. 9.1. We haven't seen this since the kid over there Cardinals did it with Rondell Moore. Where he had a guy averaging down there 10 yards after he touches the football. So this guy get the ball in his hand and he's getting you 10 more yards every time he touches the football. Um, Special.
Yeah,
Half
I
of his yards
definitely.
are after the catch, bro. That's special.
Yeah, definitely a special
That's special.
individual.
That's stick work special, right? We looking at stick work special. And again, when you only got 11 sacks, four sacks given up by a right tackle, your left tackle gave up two, your guard gave up one, and then you don't really find nothing else there from there. Defensively, you look at things. We just want to look at the sack commitment they got going on right now. They got a guy with 14, another guy with 8, and then you got some guys, that get to the quarterback, but for the most part, the two pass rushers are hell and the outside linebacker. Remember when I asked you, did he use this guy? Well, we see what he actually do with this guy. He goes and get it.
Hmm.
8 sacks, 9 tackles for losses. The young rookie Kitchens has 14 tackles for losses, so he's in the building playing at a high level. Defensively, Tre'Davious White should end the career with 10 picks or more, and so should Matt Honey Badger should end with 10 picks or more. So they got it going on right now. They playing good football. We look at the Cowboys, and this is what we wanted to know. What type of team football are they playing? Humphries has 7 picks. Diggs has 4. Their third corner has 3. And their fourth corner has 3. Getting to the quarterback, though, with the veteran presence they have on the field, Sammy Nichols got 7.5 sacks. Michael Parsons from the middle linebacker with 5. Khalil Mack with 4.5. Now, Khalil Mack's not having the type of season that'll keep him on the ability, but it's still Khalil Mack, right? Your D tackle is 6'8", 335 pounds, sitting in the middle with 12 tackle for losses right now. Defensively, these guys, you don't have no standouts. You don't have a guy that you can look at and be like, oh my god. But as a unit, they're playing pretty good football. Do you think that that's going to be a good recipe to have in the playoffs? As a unit, they play well, but there's not greatness on this defense.
I think that'll fall into bad for pass game. Run game wise, I think it'll cope pretty well because you do need the team
Multiple
to
players
stop
to
the
make
run.
plays. Yeah. All right. As a receiver, their running back leads their team in receiving receptions, not yards, but receptions. They do have Tree Owens. We haven't really saw Tree Owens be special since his rookie season. But what you are seeing is 29.5 yards a catch. He's not a route tree runner at all. No pun intended. Tree can't run route tree. To me, Tree is a vertical receiver. Throw that bitch up. Is there anything else that shows? I mean, you played this guy. Is there anything else that shows? How could you be in the next room over and just call me like, Mama, what's up? I don't. Where is it? Oh God, I'll look and see if it's in here. All right. All right. Okay. Okay.
Shit, that's hot.
Yep.
Tree is definitely not a route tree runner, no pun intended. He's definitely a vertical, one,
One trick pony. Throw that bitch up. That's it. Now, and this is the problem. If you go look at his now, all right. If you look at his first year when he focused on him, and it was a focus that was, you had to ask yourself, could he do this in a season where you have to win games, or is he a stat guy off of non-important games? If you get what I mean. Remember when they had the number 3 pick to go get their quarterback that year? Tree Owens was a rookie and he had really good numbers that year.
Yep.
But it wasn't a play for a purpose. This team was tanking like a motherfucker. And in that tanking, you can sit there and focus on building the guy, and you did exactly that. But now, in playing meaningful football, we haven't really seen the 6'6" guy. I mean, you can't be this big of a player, have that type of size and ability to you, and nobody's threatened by you. And I say this to not be funny, but this is maybe hopefully the Cowboys understand this going forward. When you line up and play the Cowboys, you don't sit in your DB room and say, all right, fellas, we got to worry about Tree Owens. That means our number 1 corner is going to lock down on this guy, or our tallest corner is going to lock down on this guy. I don't think anybody worries about Tree Owens being on the field or even being a factor, and that's a problem for you to have this guy in the league almost finishing up his 4th season, and he hasn't had impact on his team since his 1st season. When you line up and play line up against this guy, you don't see the same Tree that had 100 catches in 1973 and 28 touchdowns as a rookie. You don't see that guy.
Yeah.
That guy hasn't even cracked 1,000 yards since then. He hasn't even had 50 catches since then. And why am I saying this, Max? I'm not saying this to play him out or anything like that. I'm saying this is the talent that this guy has, that he showed you he has. Why isn't it translating? Why can't this offense get him involved? This guy should be, should have all the touches as a receiver for this team. To be honest with you, I mean, just think about it. You have a strong possession receiver who has outstanding stats: 92 speed, 95 excel. He's 99 catching with a +1, 97 catching traffic. Special catches 99. You can throw it up. He's a deep route runner at 98, and he jumps out the building 96. Now, to go along with that, Oskino Ishmael's a speed burner. You got McCole Hardman on this team that's a speed burner, right? And yet your running back is your biggest threat out the backfield. As a runner, as a receiver, he's your biggest threat. What are we missing? Like, what is the Cowboys missing? Why can't they make this guy with a run game like they got? Why can't Tree Owens be like 99 Reasons, or or even Bolin? I'm talking about these run heavy teams that got receivers that's unstoppable because they're run heavy teams.
I honestly just think it's a scheme and a trust thing. I feel like they either make it too obvious that they're going to Tree Owens, or they don't let the plays develop and they're taking their running back because he's such a problem. You know what I'm saying? For your running back to have the most receptions, you would ideally think that you're throwing your running back early and often.
Trust issues.
Yeah, it's trust
So is
issues.
it trust in the play calling? So that means the coaches don't trust their quarterback, or the quarterback doesn't trust himself. Think about it. When you got a quarterback that's got 1,782 yards, 182 attempts, 120, 65%, 162 yards per game,
I look at
85.7,
I look at the yards per
15
average.
and
Like,
19.
11 sacks. He's not getting sacked that much, so it's not like
He ain't getting
establish a
sacked that
line.
much because he ain't dropping back throwing the ball that much.
I mean, yeah, that too. It's like 10. I mean, in theory, 182 and 11. That's actually a still a kind of high percentage in a way. I just feel like it's a scheme thing. Maybe the quarterback doesn't like the play calling. Maybe the play calling is catered because the quarterback isn't productive over time. Like, has he had that one season where he's just been like an outstanding thrower? I don't think he's ever really got a chance though.
The same coach is there. The same offensive coordinator is there from the rookie season of Tree Owens. He's still there. Same coach, same playbook, same everything. Still there. Only thing changed is the guy throwing him the football right now. So again, is it a quarterback thing, or they just can't connect? They just don't see on the same page. Maybe this is Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens
I was about
situation.
I think it's more. I think it's the quarterback. I think it's the quarterback.
I mean, it says to me, when I throw the football right now, when I'm throwing the ball, I'm throwing it to my running back. The rest of y'all can kiss my ass. That's what it sounds like to me. I
just
mean,
don't know. I just don't know what's the complacency. Is it because I don't like the plays that's getting called up? I don't like Tree Owens. Because you like them, you know what I'm saying, the first year, but
they have the weapons though to be a strong passing team. We're not asking them to, they got to be out here throw for 4,000 yards and stuff. But we're asking them to, what is up with the weapons you have and why they, after a while, Tree doesn't want to be a Cowboy no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I wouldn't. If I'm 6'6", 225 pounds, in my rookie year, I showed you I was the man, and since then the targets has been down. The attempts has been down. You don't even trust me enough to throw the ball to me. Like, why am I here? Send me somewhere the fuck else. Won't you trade me for another backup running back or something? Like, do something. Get me the fuck out of here. Go get 2 offensive linemen for me. Do something. Get me out of here, because you're not going to pay me because I can't even get in-game incentives. I can't even reach, contract stuff. They asked me to catch 50 balls. I get an extra $1 million. I can't even get that over here as a Cowboy. I want this shit. Jerry Jones barely want to give out money now. You think you're going to give me incentives for 19 catches? The fuck? I'm out of here. I get 10 touchdowns, I get an extra $1 million. I can't even get close to that because I ain't getting attempts. 19 fucking attempts for a receiver that's 6'6", 225 fucking pounds. What are we doing right now?
Yeah, I think it definitely just can't be like your running back is your leading receiver. I think that's the story in the offense. Like that, that's the problem.
The quarterback is a check down Charlie.
Is that the coach is doing though?
That's the good night, man. Like, that's the coach's call. Yeah, that's the coach's calling. But like, the quarterback ain't. I mean, he must be scared to death. Like out there, like I don't want to make a mistake.
Theory, that's what I'm
Bullshit.
saying. But yeah, because his other seasons when he was throwing down the field, you did see him make more mistakes than touchdowns.
I mean, I get it. You want to play safe football and rely on your defense to get you wins. I get it. And I mean, I'm not mad at it. Your running back averaging 160 yards a game right now. He's holding you down. I just don't see how they, maintain this playoff spot. Here's the thing. What's their remaining schedule? I know we talked about it yesterday. Who they have left on that schedule? to
Let me
really
see.
find out, can they continue to do what they doing? And I mean, they've been a playoff team. I think they only missed the playoffs once in our 5 seasons.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Second year.
Year two.
Yeah, yeah. I think so. I'm looking at the schedule now while I'm going to it. Let me see. I think only year two. Yeah. All right. Where is it? Team schedule. Cowboys. All right. He's got Raiders this week.
Okay.
Broncos next week.
Okay.
Falcons.
Okay. Oh
Eagles.
yeah, when we did look at his schedule, we said he had he got a favorable
He got some.
schedule.
He does. Yeah, he's got some favorable ones. He's
Got a
got
favorable schedule.
Raiders, Broncos, Falcons, Eagles, football team, Packers.
Can this team, hold down the number 6 spot? Listen, for them to get out of the playoffs, they got to lose enough games to go from 6 to 7, 7 to out of the playoffs. Do you see that happening? I don't.
Um, I don't see it happening, but it's very possible.
It's some meaningful games because it's some meaningful division games
I
coming
was
down
about
the
to say
stretch with the
the division
Eagles
itself.
sitting on the outside looking in still, like looking in the window right now. Like, don't count us out of the playoffs right
Literally
now.
at the fucking window because
That's
they
our
have the
6
same
seeds and
record.
shit, man. So, 7th and 6th seeds aren't safe whatsoever with the Colts having the most brutalest schedule down the stretch I've ever seen. Ever.
Brutal.
Never seen a schedule like that. That was nuts. They are in situations, and their situations is not good whatsoever. But I think they can fight through it. All they gotta do is win 2.
1-2.
All they gotta
You
do
gotta
is win
do.
2. All they
All
gotta
you
do
gotta
is
do.
win
Oh
2.
my gosh.
All you gotta do is win 2. All right. Our 5th seeds, the Chargers, in the AFC at 5 right now. And again, remember, this is only week 13, so we have the week 18 for these things to change right now. He will play team ball and we in the offs every year in toughest division with playoff schedules. We still growing and very young, and hell no, I ain't missing my man. There you go. As the Cowboys coach, Quincy Jones, Mr. Snake Eyes himself, spoken. Now, again, remember, this is week 13. This is the first time the playoff tree popped up. This is not the deciding what our playoffs will look like coming down the stretch. Believe me, something's going to change. If it's something I can't guarantee, something's going to change. All right, so now you look at the 5 seed, the Chargers, and the 5 seed is the Giants for the NFC. This two teams did a trade with each other this year, and that trade is very much going to have an impact on how both of their seasons going forward. Period. All right, so now let's talk about this. The New York Giants sent Saquon Barkley to the San Diego to the Los Angeles Chargers. I apologize. So Coach Corey, who's not known for running the football, went out there and got them a premier top 5 running back in this league, top 10 running back in this league. In a trade where the Giants got rid of a top 5 player on their team when it comes down to running backs. He's definitely a top 5 running back in the league when he had him. With saying our quarterback is the Russell Wilson effect. This team is our quarterback's team, not Saquon's team. So they moved on from Saquon Barkley. And some would say that they're feeling that effect right now. With 3 losses. I don't think this team had 3 losses in 2 years. And at this point now they have 3 losses. Since year 1, this team hasn't seen 3 losses on their schedule. All right. So with that conversation being said, we're going to dig into players that are up here for awards. As always, I'm going through the same thing through each team, right? And those that are still tuned in with me, man, listen, hit the like button. Type your name in the comment section. And those that missed that award, the gift I gave out yesterday for the games that was played, and if you picked any of those games, you will have a gift. Now remember, when I do things like this, it's my gift to give you, not your gift to tell me what you want. The moment you tell me what you want, you won't get the gift at all. It's just that simple. Hit the like button. Take a screenshot of you hitting the like button. Type your team's name in the comment section, whether you in King Madden or Game of Thrones. And those that are still watching, continue to watch. See what happens. So now let's get back to the league and go back to the stats and the awards right now. Do we have anybody from that number 5 team, seeded teams? Do we have anybody in the yearly award races? First, we'll talk about the MVPs. Chargers have Bryce Moss. The Giants don't have a guy there. Now, since the Giants don't have a guy there, I'll ask you, let's talk about Bryce Moss for a second. Have we ever seen a player like this? Have we ever seen somebody do this with the tight end position?
No, it reminds me honestly of everything I should have did with Kyle Pitts.
Remember
that? Like, to be frank with you,
I'm saying I did this in 20 with DW, but I didn't do it again with in 21 with DW. But when I had Darnell Washington, the super freak at tight end.
It's impressive as fuck, bro.
But not this. This is different.
It's impressive as fuck, and it's smart as hell. Honestly, like, it was smart. It was smart, but I will say this about the coach. I would pick off that he ran that style too much, to the point where it's no longer as productive as it used to be. It still gets touchdowns, but it's no longer as like off guard and upsetting. It's kind of like, we're back at this shit again. Like, I would like to see maybe some more tight end at receiver. You know, you come out with some big tight ends. You know, some big receivers, shit like that. But
the problem is he got 2 tree chumps at receiver.
Yeah,
he got 2 big body guys there already, and Pierre and the young rookie he drafted this year.
See, but I think the rookie could even backseat sometimes, like goal line. I just think, you know, he could go full circle with the shit. Like, fuck putting him at fullback sometimes. Put him at receiver. Shit.
Why can't he play the square or the circle or the even?
Exactly. Yeah, like I think it could be. Yeah, he could be really, like, he's dangerous as hell.
Do you think that's his downfall? That, you know, that he's continued to. I mean, this guy's special. Let me ask you this. Since he's been in the league, has he been the scariest weapon in the league, or do Lamar still holds that?
I think Lamar still holds it because of speed, truthfully. But you can only play Lamar. Well, Lamar is still only a quarterback. Even though he's a running back, he's still only, like, you can't do anything after he throws passes. Right. Ideally. Bryce Moss would be like, once the ball leaves the hands of the quarterback, who's the scariest. My fucking controller dies. Once the ball leaves the hands of the quarterback, who's the scariest player with the football? I think Bryce Moss has got to be up there with, like, a Waddle, a Hollywood, like, you know what I'm saying? Those are the top guys, scary as hell with the ball in their hands after the catch. You know what I'm saying? Rondell Moore, you know what I'm saying? That's an elite class of guys. After the catch, what are they doing? Or after they get the ball, period, what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? Even as a running back or even as an up back, he still very much, you know, kills 85% of the league.
As they develop more talent around him, is that going to make him scarier? Or you just think they're stuck in their ways?
I think they might be stuck in their ways, but they could easily disguise their offense more and still have him being a freak with putting other freaks around him, like a speed burner,
like a Saquon Barkley.
Like, I was about to say like a Saquon, or like literally like a Saquon. Like that right there should be like trifecta. Like the way I would post Russ and Metcalf and Saquon, like in his head, in his picture, his Chargers, when they sell their little tickets, it should be Bryce Moss, Saquon, whoever else the hell, Herbert, whoever else you want to put right there. Like, it should be them two, and then whoever else you want to make the offense the trifecta over there in LA.
So let me ask you this: as the seedings get lower, do we start to see more players popping up for those teams in the award races?
In some instances, yes. I just think it also means better team ball, productively lower seeding is better records. So in most cases, so it's better team ball can be the case, but you will start to see some more standout players because there's still a system at play.
Right.
If that makes sense.
So Bryce Moss is 4 in the AFC Offensive Player of the Year. At 7, their quarterback is sitting there, Justin Herbert, and at 2 out of the top 10 in the NFC. Let's look at the Giants and see where they reside at. All right, so the Giants quarterback you would think would be on this list in the Offensive Player of the Year. It's not on this list. We'll talk about this going forward right now. I'm going to talk about is this a struggle or where the Giants are at right now in their season and their year they're having right now. All right, so Defensive Player of the Year. You look at the Giants. Are we finding any Giants on this list? Not one. AFC, if you're looking for a Charger, I think you will find one. Yes, sir. Darwin James is 8 on this list. Offensive Rookie of the Year. When you're looking for a Charger, is there a Charger on this list? No. How about NFC? Is there a Giant on this list? I would think so. I'm looking for a Giant, and there we go. Plax Barris is sitting here at 6 on this list right now. Shout out to the wide receiver over there for the New York Giants in New York. Now, when you look for Defensive Rookie of the Year right now, Giants, DJ they do have a pass rusher sitting here in the top 10. And when you go back up, he is actually number 3 on this list as a diaper dandy. AFC, Chargers, do they have a young rookie balling out for them right now? No, they don't. Now, best quarterback award right now, Chargers has the number 3 quarterback in the AFC. In the NFC, are we going to see our boy up here? There you go. He's number 7 on this list. Elijah Manning right now, 8-3 record. At running back position, I doubt we'll see a Giant here, which we don't. In the AFC, is Saquon Barkley on this list? Yes, sir. He's number 10 on this list, Saquon Barkley. Is that important?
I definitely think it's important for him to maintain the list because he's usually even a top 3. I don't think he's missed a Pro Bowl, so those type of morale things might, throw him off, as an imbalance. He's used to a certain level of etiquette.
Okay. He's on the list. We'll talk about it. I just played Saquon Barkley with the Chargers, so we're going to talk about this in a second. All right, so wide receivers in the AFC. Again, the Bills have 2 on this list. Okay. Waddle is 1. That's it. You're not going to find another Dolphin. Just Waddle. The Chargers have 1 and Pierre on this list. They have, and it sucks because, where do you put the tight ends at? Because he would be on this list if we had a spot for the tight ends. Yeah. Right, so they have 2 with the tight end. You look at the Colts have 1, Chiefs have 1, Patriots have 1, Ravens have 2, Browns have 1, Chargers have 1, Bills have 2, Dolphins have 1. NFC. There's some dynamic players in New York right now that, aren't making a list right now. D-Hop. What's your boy's name? DK Metcalf isn't on this list. That's not necessarily a bad thing right now. We're going to continue to talk and figure out what's what. But we don't see a Giant on the list. We do. What's up, Falky? We do see the quarterback. Their quarterback is number 7. Offensive line-wise in the NFC, there's not a Giant on this line. In the AFC, is there a Charger on this line? There's not a Charger on the line. So let's go to the pass rush right now. In the AFC, the Chargers, do they have a guy up here? No, they don't. In the NFC, here we go. Remember I asked the question, the lower we get with the seeds, are there more players we're going to say?
I was about to tell people, have you noticed yet that ain't that many Giants and Chargers up on here for...
When you look at the NFC Defensive Line Award race right now, there's not a Giant on this list. In the AFC, again, there's not a Charger on this list. When we get to the linebacker level, are we going to see a Charger on this list? Yes, we do. Kenneth Murray Jr. has been playing solid for them all year. That's it. Then you look at the NFC, and we're looking for a G-man to step up right now. When you got guys over there like Von Teller and, even a young gunner they got coming up right now, there's no Giant on this list right now. Then at the DB level right now, is there a New York Giant on this list? And there's not. So on the awards race right now, the Giants have 1 player. The player that they put all their marbles in, which is their quarterback, is the only person, and he's number 7 in the NFC out of the top quarterbacks right now. Now, we are seeing a couple of Chargers on here. Let's give them credit, and I'm quite sure we're going to see Sampson at the DB position and Darwin James. They got 2 DBs on this list. Now, when we come out of that, we saw the list, we saw the race, we saw what's going on over there. Why are you guys still high seas like y'all are? Y'all really don't got people up there fighting for awards all crazy like the rest of the teams we saw. We saw some of the lower seeded guys have more players up there. Why is that?
I think it's a schematic thing, kind of a sense of comfortability, system thing where not younger, the lower seeds kind of need sparks or lean on one or two players, so you'll see high production out of that just because, you know what I'm saying, that's who is the focal point of their offense or defense or team at that point,
Right.
depending on what team we're speaking of. Where, I think even as we go up, you'll still see guys on the list, but you'll still see a balance of the guys on the list. That's why you see more, a number, one or two of certain teams, because there's a spark there, but there's also a systematic balance that's in place to have those guys. To have those guys get in situations where if you show up and then some, you'll get recognition for it in the awards. If you just show up, you won't get recognition for the awards. What Brady always say, we ain't gonna always win the awards. We worried about wins, or we worried about championships, the big games. So, like, you know what I'm saying, the win. So it's not always gonna lie in the stats in certain systems. Like, it's just the way it is. And
Justin Herbert has been consistent throughout his career. Year one was the only year he wasn't really consistently playing. Since he's been playing, though, Justin Herbert has been on this list. Somewhere between 70 and 75%. He's at 77%. He threw for 410 yards a game right now, and a 29.3 QB rating. 46 touchdowns, 19 picks. This story has been told already with Justin Herbert. What is it about the Chargers? The numbers are there. They throw the ball really well. You get into the run game. Saquon comes from New York, being a 2,000-yard back damn near every season in his career, to not even having 1,000 yards right now. Why do you make a trade like this if you're not going to give him the production? Let's look at Saquon since 2021. 285 carries, 2,145 yards, 22 touchdowns.
I think we hit 2,000 every year.
2,640 yards, 23 touchdowns. He averaged 9.2 that year. 23, 2,189 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns. 2024, which was last year, as a Giant. 298 carries, 2,023 yards, 6.8, 21 touchdowns. Right now, he has 112 carries, 650 yards. He's averaging 5.8, 13 touchdowns. This is the lowest output everywhere. Attempts, yards, average, and touchdowns. Since he's become a Charger, he's averaging 59.1 yards a game. Why? Why do you trade for a 2,000-yard back for 4 years straight only to take his attempts down and take his everything else down? Yards, average, touchdowns, all that down. Like, what was the trade for? You know what I'm saying? Like try to make sense of it for me, Max. Because this is the production you lost. Now, are you seeing it? You seeing the actual production you actually lost?
I actually see it, but I saw it when I departed from 2-6.
I mean, it's 22 touchdowns a year.
I can't tell you as a coach why in the system, from outside looking in, it looks like a speed and threshold chase more than anything.
Look, this is the difference between Saquon as a Charger and Saquon as a New York Giant. Receptions is the only thing he's good at over here for the Chargers at this point right now. 34 catches, 385 yards, 11.3 yards attempt, 2 touchdowns. I mean, this is the best average of him catching the ball at the backfield we've seen since he's been in New York in the 4 seasons. I mean, those numbers are better than they have been in all 4 seasons over here. He hasn't had 34 catches or even 385 yards, 11.3 yards attempt. Last year he did have 11 yards a catch, but even touchdowns. He has 2 this year. We're starting to see Saquon as a check down back more than a earn his check back, if that makes sense to you. How do you have 5 games left and you make this work?
30 carries. I'm gonna be frank. 30 carries. Your O-line has to process. It doesn't even look like the O-line.
Did Saquon go to a graveyard spot?
As sad as it might be, it looks like it. He would definitely think so. His agent would think so. Endorsements down like a mofo. Production down. Awards down. Trophy case finna just stay where it's at.
These guys throw the ball. Simple as that. That's what they do. 23 touchdowns from their tight end, 13 touchdowns from their number one receiver. They got really good threats over there. Stanley McDonald's fast as fuck, and then Jawan Johnson is a big body receiver. So they got some guys over there. The question really is with this team is, how do you maximize out of Saquon Barkley? We know they're going to play good defense. They do that. I don't have to show the defense to say anything bad about their defense. They do play really good defense. Although their sack numbers are way down from last year, where they had Rump, who's playing lights out right now. They do got 3 guys with 6, 9, and 5 sacks on the year. Interception wise, Clyde Sampson is continuing to say, I am one of the better corners in the league. Darwin James always does what Darwin James do. So this team is there. They're playing good enough football to be the number 5 seed at this point right now. I don't know if they have an opportunity to jump the Broncos. I don't know if they played twice already this year. I think they did. So I think that story is written, unless the Broncos just lose some games they shouldn't be losing right now. I don't think it changes. I think they stay at the 5th seed. I don't know what their schedule is like going down the stretch. Could they go from 5 to 6, 6 or 7? I highly doubt it. The coach is good enough to maintain somewhere between, that 5 to 3 seed. So the Chargers is the same story. They got a new running back over there, which you would think that would change their story a little bit. But we haven't seen it shake its place yet or make its place over there, where we've seen Saquon, be in a game where, 20 plus carries and, show his Saquon Barkley likeness.
It's almost like he hasn't arrived in LA yet.
Yeah, like he's still not there. Like he's on the field, but he didn't unpack. He doesn't have a house yet. He's not comfortable at all yet. And then you flip over to the Giants right now.
The Broncos and the Chargers still have to play. I'll read you the Chargers schedule while you get over there.
Okay.
Chargers got the Eagles this week, Colts, football team, Chiefs, Broncos, Jags.
That's not a walk-by schedule at all.
No, that's actually a nice schedule for a team testing. You still got 2 divisional games, NFC East twice, AFC South. The Colts on their playoff whim.
I mean, this is nuts. Now, Maximus, let's talk about this New York Giants team. In the beginning of conversations, when you made the Saquon Barkley trade, you was vivid on how it wasn't going to matter to you. You were straight. You putting everything, all the eggs in Elijah Manning's basket right now. Now that you're 3 losses in right now, and you're in week 13, are you singing the same song?
We've definitely. I'll say this. We have and still had the same confidence that we have in Elijah to go out there and do what he has to do to put us in the situation that we want to be in. We did, however, as a coaching staff and an organization, misinterpret the high quality-esque of Saquon Barkley. And we're okay to say that, because it put us in a situation that we're willing to fall on our sword with, because our quarterback is still that good. But it's damn right I still fall on your sword situation. Like, we definitely fell on our sword. But Elijah is so good that I'm willing to do that. Like, when you're not willing to do that, it would be a situation where I'm a backpedal. I'm not going to backpedal on it, because I still believe my quarterback is that good. We just misinterpreted how fucking well the team looked at Saquon, how much they leadership probably was, shit like that. Like, to the point where I've even questioned some of my defense has lost its spunk because of Saquon. It's like the locker room itself is just like, oh shit, like maybe Elijah's just not vocal.
The impact of a player is always something you take serious and pay attention to. In the future, for anybody else that has these type of motives or thought process or think they need to do something like this, have a really legit plan behind it right now. When you made the trade, I thought, not bad. I ain't mad at it. It's gonna kill you, but I ain't mad at it. But it depends on what you do with the kid you got in replace. Because to be honest with you, Corey should have never made this trade. Why? Saint Barkley was already Saquon Barkley for Corey, not your Saquon Barkley, but the Saquon Barkley that left New York and went to the LA Chargers was already on their roster. If you're not going to, give your guy over 100 carries or more, 200 carries, and make him almost 1,800 to 2,000 yard back, you had that back on your roster already. Good speed. Only difference was different between the two was abilities, and I understand that. But you're not playing to Saquon's abilities now, so that ability really hurt you. You can check down to a running back that's on normal all game long if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do that. Like, you really could just throw table routes to a running back that's on normal and still get, 35 catches, 385 yards, 2 touchdowns out of him, right? You can hand the ball off to a star or a normal running back and get 600 yards out of him. Like, this is, it's there. But the problem is he gifted you. You got draft picks and a running back that if you would have did what the Cardinals was doing all year long, which was build that running back, you're not in this situation right now. What's the point? You lose 3 games, oh well, but in the process of losing those 3 games, you built you a dog at running back to carry your franchise on for the next 6 seasons.
This is true.
Right? So to those that, want to make a move or bust a power move like that, think about it. Think about what's in play or what's in place on your team already to make you dare to do a move like that, and understand the value of a player. Before you let him go, you should have looked at, I'm ready to get rid of 2,000 yards every year, 20 plus touchdowns every year. I'm ready to get rid of that production right now, and I have to find that production back. How do I get that production back? And the way you were supposed to get it back, either you trust the running backs you got and build it there, or one of those receivers had to step up to a thousand. Like, you should right now have 3 receivers with 1,500 yards, 20 touchdowns right now. That's what we should be seeing, not 3 receivers with 651 yards, 633 yards, 602 yards. Like, these guys should look like the Cardinals at this point right now, because that's the commitment you made. The quarterback that you have. So you see what happens is you got caught up in the season he had last year, right? And when you get caught up in the season that this guy had last year, it's something that only Kyler Murray did. Think about this. 6,940 yards, 7,000 yards. He threw 85 touchdowns, only 22 picks. Kyler Murray is the only quarterback in our league that's done anything like that. So I can see where you could put all your eggs in that guy's basket. But let's look at a Kyler Murray coach team, and Elijah Manning's coach. And no disrespect to you, but let's look at it. Kyler Murray threw 400 something touchdowns last year. They drafted a running back, and they ain't throwing nowhere near the passes they threw last year. Think about that. As you go forward in the moves you make. Just think about that. Kyler Murray threw 400 touchdowns 2 years in a row, and they come back and the next year draft a running back, and Kyler Murray hasn't even threw for damn near 3,000 yards yet. And the all-pass offense that you designed by trading Saquon Barkley, Kyler Murray is running the ball all year long with his team. And they're in a run-heavy system right now, and their receivers have the same numbers your top 3 receivers have. All right, so now that I'm getting on you about that, how do you fix this? How do you go into these playoffs as the 5th seed and possibly trying to move up the chart, because you have the schedule to move up the chart? How do you salvage this and turn this around?
Kind of, really, in truth, really just releasing the safety net. I feel like there's a lot of football left, as we've said earlier. We've seen the capabilities, we know the capabilities, kind of just rolling with the punches and going out there and being the same explosive offense we were. But we gotta have a back that we spell in, that we trust in when we hit the playoffs, because I don't not see the playoffs. So it's like we gotta also prepare for that going down the road too. But I think it's our receiving core. We just got time to talk to them, have a meeting, spell them guys, and tell them, you and Elijah, y'all are the guys that we gotta lean on y'all to get us where we need to be at, so we feel confident enough to go on a playoff run when it's that time.
I think if there's a team out there that could do it, it is this Giants team. where you know you have to look at it like this: through all through the trials and tribulations you put your team through this season. I mean, you even got rid of a good lineman too, that in replace of a rookie. But through the trials and tribulations you put your team through this year, you guys are the 5th seed still. Not only are you the 5th seed still, you guys are still a Super Bowl caliber football team. So how do you build from that? How do you build knowing we're still where we want to be at? How do you close it? Do you close it I think the worst thing can happen is you fight your ass off to win your division still for the 4th year or 3rd year.
4th.
All right, so that's key one. We fighting for the division again. Win it, lock that thing down, lock that division down. You're at least playing in the 4th seed, at the least. And you're playing a home field game. Exactly.
You want a home field game. That's always. I think that's the number one thing that we drive into, and I'm looking for key players to kind of have that vocalness to let the young guys know the situation that we're in. The guys that haven't been in this situation or was part of the bounce back from the 9-7 season the first year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We've been there. Well, they've seen it. They've seen it when they drafted it. So if those guys come in and have the conversations that they need to have with the same coaching staff that we have over here, we just got to bear down. We need that home game for our fans, for us, for the organization. It's just something that we're going to fight for. And that fight alone, I feel like, will give us the jump start and the hydro boost that we need to get it done.
You guys got a fan base that will turn on your team quick right now.
Quick.
And when you split your fan base up 50-50 right now, where they're upset with your team, man. They upset with the Saquon Barkley trade right now. Ticket sales are down. And the support for this team is all over the place right now. What's the way to make them shut that noise down, man? How can you in 5 games make this fan base forget about the Saquon Barkley trade?
Make them see the same light that we saw, prior to making the trade when we didn't play Barkley week 1, and the news reporters had on the front page of the fucking newspapers, where's Barkley and shit like that. So I think we got to make Elijah, feel comfortable enough to go out there and wear that, have that swagger. We got to bring the swagger back. Almost kind of how Fields did this year with the Bears. Now you got the Bears. They see the light. They see why. Through all the snuff, through all the pain, there's going to be this guy right there that brings some light. And I think, him, along with this defense led by Vaughn, I feel like they got to remember the defense is always going to be there, you know what I'm saying? So a key reminder of that is to go out there and just get some good wins, some convincing wins, because that's really what they're used to. They're used to convincing wins at that point. Right. So they're missing that fallback, where you could be like, we good, like, you know what I'm saying? My boy's going to pull the win out. They're missing that. They're feeling like, what the fuck? Like, they're losing games that we're not used to seeing at certain points, and that's football. But as fans, that's how they react.
Right, no doubt. I mean, again, it's a process, and why not? Why not the New York Giants? You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what you tell your team. Why not? Why not the New York Giants? Why can't we be that team that nobody thinks that we're still sharp enough to be able to win the Super Bowl, but go out there and win the Super Bowl without the type of weapon that we gave up in our backfield right now? With that being said, we stopped at the 5 seeds. We're going to talk about the Saints coming up next episode. Also, the Dolphins. I'm going to talk about those two teams in the direction they both are taking right now and what's going on with those two organizations. Other than that, kick it with me, man. AntHits, the franchise guru. Those that stayed on and watched, if you typed your name, again, type your team's name in the comment section for me. Make sure you like the video. And make sure you screenshot that like and send it to Max. Send it to Max. Remember that. Send it to Max. And I'll come throw some love to you at some point before the season's over with. Holla at me. You heard? AntHits, the franchise guru. Max, I appreciate you. You're a hell of a co-host today, bro. We rock this bitch. As always, another great show. Holla at us.